Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are back once again for Garage Shop College Cup Series action, coming to you live from the virtual Chicagoland Speedway in Joliet, Illinois. Uh, now we're getting ready here. The qualifying is actively underway as we speak. I will be one half of your booth this evening. Alex Gannon alongside me, as always, Josh Crane. Josh, how you doing, first of all? And secondly, what can the fans expect tonight from Chicagoland, the track that has not been on the actual NASCAR schedule for a couple of seasons now?
Well, we did have the chance to do a little bit of testing when the Gen 4 came out. Everybody wanted to go to Auto Club, Atlanta, old Atlanta, and all these little bit of intermediates. And so we do expect to see drivers able to carry some momentum off the high side, able to carry their car and their tires through the high side of these corners. But we also know that drivers have the ability to kind of operate down low. They'll have the ability to get in. I don't know if we'll see some slide jobs tonight, Alex, but we are going to see drivers that have a choice of grooves here at this mile-and-a-half track or so. And it's also going to be compounded a little bit by that curved back straightaway. That's not an error in the track map. That is the back straightaway here at Chicagoland. And so every once in a while, it can be helpful on corner exit. Sometimes if you're a little bit tight off the corner, but sometimes that wall just kind of sneaks in on you. They're getting in turn 3, and drivers who are trying to get that low line probably won't stress too much, but yeah, somebody will find their way into that Brant agricultural advertisement there, Alex, before the night is done, either of their own accord or with some help. So anyways, that is to say, Alex, yeah, it's going to be exciting. There's going to be a lot of action back and forth. There's going to be different options. I don't want to call it the old Atlanta that we know and love, but I fully expect that these drivers are going to be doing battle for all 133 laps here. This track lends itself to it.
Yeah, well, as you mentioned, 133 laps night around this mile-and-a-half track. Pretty warm track conditions out there. 117 degrees it'll be when they take the green flag. And to your point about multi-groove racing, that's what I can never ask for in a track. You know, the ability to run more than one line. And when you have that ability, you know, it puts on a great display of racing because there's not one way you can get around here. And we'll have to see which strategy works out and who can manage their pit strategy the best here, because it's a pretty long race. I mean, 133 laps, a lot can go right, a lot can go wrong. And if something goes wrong early, you still have plenty of time to find your way back to the front by the end of things.
Yeah, that's going to be the key here is drivers that can get their shenanigans out of the way early. And you can see Clint Halterman there. He's pretty sideways in that North Carolina at Charlotte car. And that's something that we're going to see a lot of. These cars can be very unsettled coming across that tri-oval. So that's something that we're going to see a little bit as we get on in the race and get on in the tire runs. That's going to be something to pay attention from these cars.
Yeah, no doubt about it. As you see, the 42 of Garrett Vitton taking the track here, one of the last cars who will be taking their qualifying lap. Not too much time left here before we officially grid up and start this race. I'd imagine it's going to be just a couple of moments now.
I think so, and there we go. All those drivers are all set, ready to go. And Alex, I think it is time for the starting grid here.
Absolutely. On pole tonight, coming as no surprise with how strong he's been so far in the early going of this season. It's Ohio State's Matthew Morton putting it on pole with a 35.65. Clinton Halterman will start to his outside for UNC Charlotte. Row 2 is a pair of Arizona State teammates in Garrett Vitton in third, Connor Levy in fourth. Zach DeWale rounds out your top 5 from St. Clair College, alongside last week's winner Kent Hundley from Northeast State Technical. Jason Wallet rolls off 7th for Drexel University alongside Jeremy Millerin out of Purdue. Row 5 is Cody Hundley out of East Tennessee State next to Austin DeLong, and row 6 is Thomas Toomey in the 166 for the University of Virginia alongside Clemson's Andrew Williams in the 23. Rolling off 13th night, it's Dylan Godinez alongside Nick Stockner of Clemson University. 15th, Andrew Burrell, also of Clemson, rolling out alongside Spencer Brown from UNC Charlotte. Timothy Wilms, the second Drexel car this evening, rolls off 17th alongside Matthew Nordberg from NC State. 19th is Tyler Klingensmith from Robert Morris University, and 20th is Tony Brown from the Queen's University of Charlotte. 21st, Jared Kaler from UNC Charlotte, and 22nd, it is Andrew McCall from Purdue.
That is the full grid here tonight. That's going to be exciting, and a couple of names we don't always see there. Both Purdue and North Carolina at Charlotte are going to have their work cut out for them because we don't normally see those cars in the back. But for whatever reason, through qualifying, those are two cars that are going to be marching towards the front. Continuing to see that delightful UNC Charlotte, some would say Carl Edwards paint scheme on that car. But yeah, nonetheless, drivers getting queued up here. Just one pace lap here at Chicagoland. It's going to be not much time to get them racked up, but they will have an opportunity to think about their race start and also the tire strategy. We did see a couple races this year, Alex, that this summer, that these drivers have really had to manage the strategy. Once somebody comes down pit road, everybody else will follow, and that's when we get these cautions that really shake things up. And so that's going to be very exciting. It's something to keep an eye on this race as well.
Yeah, no doubt about it. The lights are off on the pace car. Oh yeah, they are. There's a very late entry to pit lane from the pace car. Geez, he nearly missed the commitment cone, but the green flag's in the air. We are racing here at Chicagoland, and they are already going to go battling into turn one. A great start from Halterman.
A great start from Halterman. Everybody waiting on the green, so that's the one start of the race here that's not going to be on the leader, and it's going to work to Clint's advantage right here as they roar down the backstretch. 900 horsepower in each one of those cars. Ohio State University got pole, but actually settles for second here, and maybe the high side is a place to be. I don't know what the stewards will say about that start from Purdue. Purdue will say they got a good start, but yeah, seemed pretty aggressive, and we are trying to capture the laying off and the aggression here on the restarts. But the aggression from Zach DeWale, Alex, as he makes his move into third place.
Yeah, he's already up 2 positions. He's cleared both of the Arizona State cars, now sitting in the third podium position with clean track in front of him, trying to reel in Matthew Morton ahead. The 2 Arizona State cars are really trying to hold off the traffic behind him here, especially Connor Levy, who's got both Kent Hunley and Jason Wallen all over his back bumper as they come across the stripe for lap number 4.
Yeah, these drivers working their way down. There's 2 Sun Devils right there, so maybe they can play politely enough to simply get on down the road. But on the high side, Northeast State Technical College and that white machine, he's trying to get the job done. Thought about 3 wide. That would be a little bit risky at this point in the game, Alex, but already loving what we're seeing from these Gen 4 cars and these talented drivers here at Chicagoland. They got fresh tires, and they're not afraid to use them.
Yeah, nor should you. It's the opening part of the race. Everyone's all blocked together. Why not take a chance, try and get a couple of positions early, and then see how the track position game might settle in as this race progresses. As you can see, the 0-2 really stick that rear end out there. He got a little loose through the exit of the corner, able to keep it in one piece moving forward on the back bumper of the 14, but definitely already the driver's starting to feel the effects a little bit of what happens with these 900 horsepower packages and tires who don't want to necessarily cooperate with the driver's movements.
Yeah, and here you go down around the outside. The outside is starting to carry that momentum pretty well. That is Jason Wallet right there for Drexel University. He's trying to make his way up into the top 5. He's doing well in points this season also. And Drexel University, he's their leading driver right now. And just up in front, you can see the battle he's looking at. That is the battle for 4th and 5th. And Northeast State Technical is trying to get that sorted out. That is Kent Hunley there on the high side, and that is Connor Levy there on the low side, who just doesn't seem to have the pace right now. I don't know if I want to be on the bottom, but Alex, I'll tell you who is liking the bottom right now, continuing to march forward, not leaving anything to the imagination. That 0-2 continues to be loose off, and he is getting it done, marching forward.
Yeah, Zach DeWale now battling for second. Something must have happened with the 07 because Clint Halterman was leading this race, and now he's fallen back behind both Matthew Morton and Zach DeWale. So the 07 going the wrong direction in a hurry, here early on. We'll have to see if he can rebound as this race progresses here. But the battle hasn't stopped yet. Now Kent Hundley looking to the way outside here. That 112 machine up against the wall. He's going to get a great run down the backstretch here. Might be able to pull ahead. The 07 thought about trying to slide in, but Connor Levy was there to block it away. And now Levy and Wallet battling behind Clint Halterman here. All of this going on for 4th, 5th, and 6th. And there's no clear indication of how this is going to all shake out.
No, there isn't. What a move. Now the high side prevails again. Levy had his notebook out. He saw that. He moved that car up to the high side, and the Sun Devils on their march forward. So that's going to be P4 straight away for Connor Levy. That's another position lost right there early on for Niner Esports in the 07 car. But nothing too bad right there. Still in the top 5. Long way to go in this one. Can't believe we just started, Alex, and we're already... we've got the weapons out, and we're big trouble! Big trouble! That was Andrew Williams, I think, and I think I saw the 42 as well. Looks like the 23 has collected it, and Garrett Vitton is going to try and get that car rolling, but not before the yellow flag comes out. We will have to take a look at that, Alex, but that is going to be caution number 1 on the night. And yeah, not too surprising with the way these drivers were competing straight on.
Yeah, no, they were really running hard in the early going here. We were just able to catch that live in the corner of the screen as they were coming off of turn 4. The 23 looked like they had position when it came to them spinning, but the 42 had the better qualifying, so I don't really know how they kind of got into each other. All I know is that both of them went around. You can see here, that is the 42 on the inside, and that is the purple and white 23 car on the outside. They'll be side by side in the 3 and 4 here, and this is where the issues begin.
Yeah, and you can see how this track makes drivers think corners ahead. Andrew Williams was trying to get under that car. I believe that was Dylan Godinez, and I don't know if he missed a call. I don't know if he didn't have the awareness, but he was not as clear as he thought he was. And yeah, the 42 will not be very thrilled about that. So those two drivers will have to get that squared up. But yeah, a little bit of case of drivers trying to move around. I'm sure the 42, Alex thought he was going to use that car as a pick as well. So everybody, you got to consider your opponents and their thoughts too.
Yeah, it's tough when both sides' offensive strategy is the same call, because then you have incidents like that where you end up meeting in the same place at the same time. But yeah, definitely neither one had a great exchange out of that, but especially the 42, who looked like they might have gotten a decent clip of damage there. In the Garage Shop College Cup Series, there are no fast repairs, so if your car is sufficiently damaged, you're just going to have to bring it down pit road, hope the mechanics can patch it back up and get you back out there, but there will be no fresh car waiting for you, so to say.
No, there won't, and I wonder, it feels a little bit early with knowing the tire set limitations. I don't know if I want to burn one just yet. It looks like these leaders have decided they will not be doing that either, but you would wonder if anybody from the back decides to try and get a little bit off sequence. I did see, it looks like Garrett Vitton and Jeremy Millerin did make their way down pit lane at that exchange. Vitton probably to patch up that Arizona State car a little bit after the damage, and that'll be an interesting experiment for all of us and these drivers as we get 2x2. Alex, is what is the aero damage on that 42 and how does it affect the way that car drives?
I think more cars may have come down pit road than considered, because the lights are off on the pace car. Zach DeWale is behind a lot of cars who he was definitely ahead of at the time of the caution, so I wonder if there was a few folks who stayed out. I see what looks to be potentially Dylan Godinez out there. I see the cow car of Tyler Klingensmith, maybe Nick Stockner as well. There's a couple of Matthew Nordberg for NC State. There's a couple of folks who were definitely in the back of the field up until a moment ago. They'll have an opportunity to see an early test to see what is going to be more prominent here at Chicagoland, track position or tires.
Yeah, that'll be something for these drivers to figure out. But we're going to come to the green one more time. It's going to be a repeat of the front, but this time the Buckeyes will have the choice when they want to put the hammer down. They're going to have that pace car pull. That pace car is pulling some G's tonight, pulling into pit lane. But the Buckeyes come down. They are on the gas, and yeah, there it is. That's the familiar sight we know. Clint Halterman is going to have to make that ground up if he wants anything to do with second place. And I'll tell you what, Dylan Godinez running third. He's going to try and make a move up here. I saw 4 wide back in the
there is
pack.
a cluster going on back behind. Everyone got a little stacked. Oh, Ken Huntley's in the wall.
Big trouble right there for Kent Huntley.
Last week's winner finds devastation early. That car got tossed around like a rag doll coming out of 2. And that incident started all the way back from the restart. It just finally culminated at the exit of 2. Because everyone got a little checked up on the restart, and it just led to that absolute cluster going in through the corner.
Yeah, already 3 wide as they came across the line, so we knew it was going to be spicy. We saw that in our screen, thought it was 4 wide. Kent Huntley out in front. Oh, a little bit loose from Kent Huntley. Just Northeast State Technical, just a little bit loose. Nothing to do right there. And man, what do you do?
Little eager to get on the throttle on cold tires is my best bet. I definitely did that a couple years ago at the season finale in Miami, and it was on the first lap of the race, and it was rather embarrassing. But I have a feeling that may have been what happened there, because the 112 doesn't look like they were touched initially, but that car just snapped around on him when he was trying to get back to the throttle on corner exit.
Yeah, and Tony Brown trying to stay high right here. You ride on board, nothing you can do. That cars are not going to stop as quickly as the drivers would like right there, and that's going to be unfortunate for Tony Brown. He was making his debut in this season. Obviously, we've seen him in his action in the next-gen car, and we know that both the Brown brothers were cooking up in these Gen 4 cars tonight, but man, that is not what you want. Yeah, that car is going to be a moment on pit lane, I would assume, and man, what a tough one. But the garage shop, you see that garage shop logo there on the left quarter panel. Left rear quarter panel. That's Dylan Godinez. He's going to carry the flag for that group, and he's going to do so in 3rd place right now. So pretty good run right now for the 808 car.
Yeah, a little bit of strategy, a little bit of speed. So far, so good for the 808. But definitely a bit of tragedy for some of the guys who just came in the pit there, who may have got caught up in that incident just a moment ago. That's always the gamble you take whenever pit cycles get off sequence like that. You never know how things are going to shake out, and that's a potentially early exit for a couple of really fast cars. As we take a look here at Spencer Brown, the non-involved brother from that incident there, as Tony Brown had nowhere to go in the previous incident, but he's still holding on to what appears to be the 6th position as they run.
I think that is correct there, and yeah, that's a pretty good run. So both Dylan Godinez here as we get 2x2. Dylan Godinez and the 188, they're going to start. In fact, they may have an opportunity to start nose to tail right here. It will be in 3rd place for Spencer Brown. I take it back. I am correct. The 808 will be in front of the 188 for this restart, so maybe they'll have an opportunity there. That is Spencer Brown behind Dylan Godinez, but behind them, they're going to have to hold off Drexel University and Jason Wallet, who's coming off a couple good runs. And then, of course, Cody Hunley will be back there. And then Robert Morris University. And there is Tyler Klingensmith. Quickly, Alex, tell us a little bit about how we arrived at the cow car livery for that group.
Yeah, so the cow car was a kind of a brainchild of their team captain, Nick Patinella, where Robert Morris University Esports, Army Esports had the opportunity. They have a partnership in place with the American Dairy Association of the Northeast, and due to that cooperation for this calendar year, the iRacing team seemed it fitting to try and make a paint scheme centered around that, and that's how we got the cow car there to encourage more, dairy activity.
There you go. Love that. And pace car pulling off once more. A little bit slow to start this race, but quick to get away is the 13. A little bit of tire spin, I think, from the inside line there, and suddenly a little bit of race is on in the back. These drivers continuing to battle, and there, right in the thick of it all, is the University of Virginia. There's North Carolina at Charlotte on your screen, Clemson on your screen a couple times, and Arizona State. Arizona State trying to look low. Virginia trying to play a little bit of defense. And can he move that 22? That's not what you want. Somebody up on the wall. That was a Clemson University car. That's Andrew Burrell in the 888. But staying on board, it looks like Connor Levy is trying to make his presence known around the outside. He's going to get around Austin DeLong there. He's going to work the outside, and we know that's a little bit quicker. So around the outside goes the 14, and can Virginia do the same, Alex?
Yeah, they're certainly going to try, and Spencer Brown a little loose there coming off the corner on that inside in that red 188 car. He's on the inside of teammate Jared Kaler and Arizona State's Connor Levy and really launches it into that corner but loses a lot of speed through the middle of it. Everyone trying to find their way now around the outside of this 188 car is now we see Jared Kaler starting to make his way up through the field as well. On the back there of Cody Hunley. Zach DeWale, though, has found Matthew Morton up front and is on the back bumper there for the lead, while there's also a great battle happening for third. There is action all over the field there.
Action all over the field. You're right. The leader is under fire, and we have Zach DeWale. He's trying to work around that outside. What can he do to get the job done? He's locked in around the outside. Yeah, that momentum. The outside is where I want to be, Alex. Pretty casually, strolling around, carrying that momentum off the corner. And here at Chicagoland, that seems to be the place right now. I think everybody, these drivers, at least in your screen, are all on the same tire window. And so, oh, big wiggle from NC State. The Wolfpack trying to gather it back up. That's not going to be good for business.
Is the only car that is on the old tire still. I believe Matthew Nordberg stayed out in that initial cycle, so he's doing this on slightly older tires than the rest of the field, unless he just passed a bunch of people without me knowing. But I think this is a through strategy because he qualified pretty near the back today. But he's putting in a great run right now, hanging up with a lot of people on a lot fresher tires. But Zach DeWale's already starting to check out up front. I mean, he's on the same tire. Or no, Matthew Morton also was on the older tires. He stayed out too. So this is what the fresh tires are doing for Zach DeWale. It is allowing him to get away, and now the next car on fresh tires is Jason Willott trying to battle for second here. Might be able to get the run off the corner needed to complete this pass. It was a little close, but now he looks to be firmly in second place, but he's got some ground to make up to get to the back of the O2.
Yeah, you called it. And East Tennessee State University coming with as well behind Drexel right there. Oh, both those cars loose off the corner. A little bit of battle. But back further on. Oh, maybe there was some issues there. 3 wide. Halterman slow. He's trying to get out of the way. 3 wide for Thomas Toomey up front. All those cars in your shot. They're going to try and get worked out. Looks like they finally decide to be 2 by 2, but that outside's going to be fast again. Dylan Godinez is going to look on the outside of the Virginia Cavalier. What can he do moving through 1 and 2? I wonder if he can get this done going down into turn 3. But actually looks a little bit off right there. Maybe on some old tires. I haven't been able to check, but we did see that both Halterman and Morton were.
Godinez was one of the 6 on the older tires, so he's just battling to see what he can hold on to here. You see the 076 of Matthew Nordberg just ahead of him. Another one of those guys on the older tires trying to make it work here until whenever the next pit stop may be. They're only about 10 lap older tires, but clearly that is enough to make a difference here. As it's just the tires do not seem to have the holdup necessary in that at least a 10 to 20 lap window compared to the 0 to 10 laps. They might bottom out at some point compared to the slightly fresher tires, but right now it is a tough world to be in if you stayed out here as this race continues to be green.
Yeah, I think that's correct. I'm talking about tough Clint Halterman continuing to try and battle. He's just given up another one there that is the 808, so Dylan Godinez back there has taken that 12th position away. That's why you see Clint Halterman in 13th position. And so back up in the front, Matthew Morton continuing to hold off North Carolina and Charlotte. The 58 car has been fast, a little bit late to the Gen 4 season, but has been really enjoyable to watch in these. Kent Huntley down on pit lane. Kind of a unique time to head in there, but we'll see what that car is doing. Maybe just patching up some damage. Taking some tape off the grill could be the case there. That car
he took a pretty wicked lick earlier. I wouldn't be surprised if that thing still wasn't handling quite right.
Yeah, I think that's pretty believable. And then, Andrew Williams. Andrew Williams has been a little bit short on luck this season, Alex. He's been up near the front. He's been in position through whether the rare odd mistake or just not having the golden horseshoe when the yellow came out. He has yet to get his first win. And we talked about the move inside. That was a bold one from the 166. Is there a crossover to be had? The Virginia sliding off, and both those cars pretty loose off right there. But it looks like Virginia is going to get that hooked up. And I think he does have those new tires. You can correct me, Alex. But yeah, the 13 continuing to be under fire.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of Thomas Toomey in the 166 over the years here in the CIL, but over the past 5 calendar days, he is rapidly ascending the list of my favorite drivers to watch here, no matter the series of competition in the CIL. Because we saw him pull off some incredible passing attempts in the GR86 race at Laguna Seca last week. We just saw that incredible passing as Matthew Morton. One thing you have to say about that Virginia driver there, no matter what the circumstances is, he's going to put on a show, and for that much, being able to watch it, thoroughly appreciated up here in the booth. It is a lot of fun to watch, even more fun to talk about. But yeah, no, the 13 on those older tires really struggling at the moment. He is the highest running car of those who have not pit yet, but that is only good for 8th right now. And he is in jeopardy of potentially losing more soon if Austin DeLong and Garrett Vitton can get up to the back of him.
Yeah, and back at it, that's North Carolina at Charlotte trying to defend, but looks like given the high line up to the 076, that's the Wolfpack that we saw kind of loose earlier and had to gather it back up. He'll be big loose right there in the wall. I don't know what was on there, Alex, but yeah, it's going to make it a little bit tricky.
Yeah, could not tell you, but it was definitely something came up there, and that wall jumped out of them a little faster than he was expecting. Brushed it there and lost all that momentum he had. He was side by side with the 07. He fell way back here. But now we're watching the battle for 4th between Andrew Williams and Jared Kaler, 2 veterans of the Garage Shop College Cup Series here. Kaler with this slight edge over that 23 purple and white Clemson machine at the moment here on lap number 30. But that gap could be shrinking here any moment if Andrew Williams looks to try and really launch one into the corner.
Yeah, it's going to have to be a launch because that 58 is doing a pretty good job just holding that high line. And I think that these tires, a bit of damage, a notable amount of damage on that left front on that 58. But holding up that high line, that's where Drew wants to be right now. And those two drivers trying to figure out. I'm pretty sure the 23 has some opposite lock in the car. Those tires are turned right there, Alex.
Yeah, that's a bit of an understatement here. Now Andrew Williams looking to the low side going into turn 1. The 23 right over the white line. Kaler looking more toward the wall. They're about 2 lanes apart here, working through the corner. Williams will slide up out of the corner, not able to get the pass done. He'll settle back into the draft of the 58 as they go into 3 and 4. Williams had his opportunity. He had used the draft to pull all the way back up, had a great look going into the corner. And now that these tires are starting to get a little bit worn, it's going to make, I think, passing on the inside that much more difficult. And for every subsequent attempt that doesn't work, you're just going to put that much more wear on your tires. So I really like the thought there from Andrew Williams, but he definitely has to be careful the next time he tries diving in on the inside there, because there's only so many times you can do that before the tires are just going to give up on you.
An accurate assessment, if there ever was one. The battle at the front continues. Kind of St. Clair College out by a little bit, and then P2. I don't know if P2 is really under fire, but Virginia certainly is. The front drivers at the front, or excuse me, the 3 drivers at the front have agreed to, and Tony Brown in pit lane on the screen, but the front drivers have agreed to kind of hang out, but here is the battle on. These, it looks like 4 drivers in your screen are trying to decide who's going to lead the charge forward. Matthew Morton continuing to probably not enjoy those old tires right there. 42 Garrett Vitton. So last time we saw the 42, Alex, he was scooting through the infield grass, trying to get that car sorted out after contact with Drew Williams at Clemson University. But moving on down the road now, see if he can get back up to the Clemson Tiger. Right there, 2 Sun Devils in your picture, separating the Buckeye and the Cavalier.
Yeah, and those 2 Arizona State cars have really kind of been locked with each other all day. They qualified 3rd and 4th. They kind of fell back on the opening run a little bit. The only time they got separated was when the 42 got involved in that incident with Andrew Williams. But now Vitton is back alongside Connor Levy here, looking to the inside off the corner. Oh, almost got a little dicey as Levy was trying to come down to the apron as the 42 was trying to come up out of the corner. They got it sorted before any damage could be done, but now the 42 has a little bit of work to do to get back to the inside of the 14, as now Levy looks potentially to try and get a run down the backstretch against Thomas Toomey. Now on the inside, it's the 14 for Arizona State looking to dive down to the white line. 2 lanes of separation between the 2. Looks like Virginia's going to try and get that run off the high side coming back to the front stretch. They are neck and neck as they hit the line.
all three drivers in your screen, the two Sun Devils and the University of Virginia, are not afraid to put some paint down, and so expect a good battle here. But the 166 is probably where I would like to be. He's up on the outside, and yeah, he's going to get that run off the corner. Man, it is going to have to be the criminal slide job here, Alex, if we're going to make this work. But I say slide job, and I'll tell you what, this is not unlike some dirt racing where you'd have the bottom side drivers just trying to make that work. Maybe one or two drivers can really make it decent. But yeah, there seems to be a groove with some options, that groove being the high side. And then, yeah, right there, Virginia taking a little bit different lines. So the dirt track and dirt oval analogies, maybe, Alex, are not so far off tonight. This is a pleasure to watch these drivers try and battle it out here.
Yeah, really. There a lot of skill on display here to see how they try and navigate these corners. And the more these tires wear, the more I think your analogy is going to ring true. Because you'll start seeing those cars slide around even more once the rubber is completely gone off of those tires. As the 42 looks like they may have been a little slow coming off of turn 4. Matthew Morton on the outside now trying to get past Garrett Vinton. Might be able to do so in that middle lane. We haven't seen too many drivers take that middle lane, but 13 able to get it to work will reclaim the 8th position, and watch as the battle ahead of him continues between Levy and Thomas Toomey. I mean, Levy's been on the back bumper of the 166 for several laps now, but there just hasn't been an opening because, to your point, it's either going to have to be a really aggressive move to the bottom or the car in front of you is going to have to make a mistake going into the corner.
Yeah, oh, there's the aggressive move, closing up right as we go down into the corner. Connor Levy, he was trying to get the job done and maybe just follow Toomey, get a run off this corner. But yeah, it looks like these drivers continuing to work down the backstretch. That 42 looking inside. Oh, and Matthew Morton going low right there. You know what? We've seen that before. When everybody else was up high, Matthew Morton and Ohio State really enjoying that bottom line. Is a little bit of a wiggle from Austin DeLong there at the top of your screen. And then Clint Halterman will make the most of that just there at the top of your screen on the high side again, but also around the high side, that 14. So that 13 car, Ohio State, the Buckeyes seeming to, they don't want to give up that bottom lane just yet. Here we go down into turn 3, Alex.
Yeah, and as they go into turn 3, Morton to the inside of Connor Levy. It's 13 versus 14 action there as they are side by side making their way through the corner. Thomas Toomey about a half lane higher through the corner, able to get a little bit of a better run. Will still hold on to the 6th position for now, but he has not been able to get any separation from the 3 cars behind him here over the past several laps. Levy still on the outside, might be able to get the run finally out of the corner. He's half a car ahead, make it 3/4, but he's not fully clear as they dive into turn 3.
Yeah, working right there. It's kind of two grooves right now, and that the 42 car is not quite sure who to follow, but has his choice as those drivers figure out. I do notice back up at the front. I don't know how long this truce is going to last because Drexel University is catching right here. Kent Hundley and East Tennessee State University, who's in the wall, and that could be it. That was all it took. We tuned in at the right time, Alex. The 76 is going to take that 2nd position away on the low side. He's going to see if he can get moving down the road closer to the leader. He's
going to have to get up to in a hurry because that 110 of Cody Hundley is going to have speed off the corner. The 110 thought about going back to the bottom off of 4, blocked away by Jason Wallet. Wallet holds on to 2nd here as they go back into turn 1. Cody Hundley will have to settle in 3rd for the moment, but I'd imagine he's going to try and find his way back up to the position he just lost sooner rather than later if he has anything to say about it. Jared Kaler watching that happen in 4th just behind him here. The top 5 all spread out by about half a second or so, with the exception of Wallet being about a second back from Zach DeWale, who ever since he took the lead from Matthew Morton back around lap 23 or 24, he hasn't looked back.
No, he hasn't. Zach DeWale is back, just moving forward right now. Doing a great job. He's managing the race up front. I wonder how those tires are doing. You can see some takers
people
right now.
Coming down pit lane,
lane and some big names. Andrew Burrell, Connor Levy coming down. Oh, that's not how that 14 was supposed to look. That car has.
That was not how it looked when we last saw him. That's for sure.
No, it wasn't, and that timing up above has spaced out a little bit, but that might be why. But right there, that 14, he's going to come down. He's decided that makes a great in-lap right there that he can get sorted out. So The 14 will be there. But yeah, back up at the front, Zach DeWale. And I'll tell you what has not cooled down this battle right here is Arizona State University trying to continue to make headway on Virginia. And a strong block by Thomas Toomey. The stewards can decide if that's weaving, but probably not. That's generally fair play here on these ovals. You can make a move back and forth. Don't expect the other driver to lift, but Thomas Toomey, no stranger to risks and working with his competition.
Yeah, I would say working with might be a bit of an overstatement. I think it's more of pretending to coexist, because we know the 166 isn't one to cut anyone any slack. But Garrett Vitton isn't one to do that either, so I'm not surprised that these two have been battling for as long as they have here. This is still the battle for 6th place. They've lost, Connor Levy in this battle that they were all having. As well as Matthew Morton. But, these two still remain. They continue their battle. The 42 has cleared him. And as we see Matthew Morton coming down pit road here, we're starting to see some cars in the back half of the top 10 bring it down pit road. He was one of the last cars who had not come down pit road yet to finally make a pit stop, which makes me think that those who stopped around lap 9, lap 10 can't be too far away from doing the same thing themselves.
Yeah, I don't think so. There's Matthew Morton. He'll come to a stop in his box, right side up on that car. Back up at the front. In fact, to Drew Williams, Thomas Toomey. Yeah, here we go. To your point, Alex, these drivers are coming down pit road right now. This group is led by Drew Williams, but I'll tell you who has not yet come down pit road is Zach DeWale. And I'll tell you, the race is on again because Cody Hunley is trying to defend a little bit from this driver right here. So UNC Charlotte, and he get the job done there on the outside.
He is certainly going to try. Garrett Kaler all over the back of the 110 here, now looking to the inside on the straightaway. They will be side by side as they go into the corner. The 58's got half a car length on him, really dives into turn 1 and 2. Going to try and slide up ahead of the 110, looking very similar to the way Jason Wallet made the pass a few laps ago. So now Cody Hunley down the 4th after spending a lot of time running 2nd here during this stint. The good news is for East Tennessee State, they aren't too far away from a pit cycle that'll potentially bring the field a little closer together.
Yeah, that's correct. And I'll tell you what's close right now is a battle between Drew Williams and Thomas Toomey. So that's Clemson and Virginia trying to compete. These drivers have pitted, so they're going to be up towards the front. They're going to be hungry to lead and eventually win this race. But right now, these drivers both know that this is an opportunity to put themselves in position. We talked about Clemson and Drew Williams specifically. He is trying desperately to find victory lane this season. And then Thomas Toomey, we know, is going to do everything he can in his vast skill set to prevent that from happening. And that's going to be taking place here, I assume, as these drivers go through, because right now we can view their last lap times. And as these drivers come through, tires getting up to temp, we can see Zach DeWale, we can see Jason Wallet, those leaders in the upper 32s, Alex, for a lap time, even a 33 there from ETSU. However, these new tires are looking about 31 seconds or better for these leaders. So we can round to 2 seconds per lap. So if you're a leader at the top of this timing tower, you don't want to stay out too long, or you'll be caught out. Right now, St. Clair College and about the top 8. Oh, purple lap, so best lap of the race right there for Virginia, and Thomas Toomey is on it right now, except he's going to have to get around right there. That's a big slide, the 22. He knew he was trying to catch Drew Williams right there, the 22, not helping at all through no fault of his own. What can you do there if you're in the middle of the track? That's going to be a big slide. But all that to say, yeah, these drivers have turned up the wick. Virginia has just run the best lap of the race, and Clemson has just run their personal best lap of the race. Drew Williams has run his best lap. So, yeah, I assumed that the leaders were out waiting for a caution, but that ship has sailed now, and if there's a caution for cars clamoring onto pit road, it'll be the top 8. And right here, Garrett Vitton playing defense on Cody Hunley there. That's going to be another battle as well.
Yeah, and if you're the leader, as you see Jared Kaler peeling off toward pit road here, as well as East Tennessee State's Cody Hunley. If you're the leaders at this point, if there's no caution to bail you out in the next couple laps, you honestly hope that this thing stays green for a significantly long period of time, because while you're losing ground with every lap you run, you will get a little bit of that time back with fresher tires once you finally pit. So if you're Zach DeWale, Jason Wallet, Garrett Vitton, or I guess not even Vitton now that he's been passed by Williams and Williams and Toomey.
Toomey, I think,
It's
yep.
just it's just a matter of like, at what point do you finally say, all right, if there's no caution, hopefully there's no cautions, period, and it gives me an opportunity to then use my tire advantage once I finally come down pit road and try and retrack down these guys. But that is not a great situation to be in if you are some of the leaders, because it takes the strategy out of your hands a lot, and at that point you're just kind of hoping that everything cooperates, which is never a great bet to make. As we see the leader coming down pit road here, that'll bring the last couple cars in the top three, and that means, I believe, just about every car, or at least all the leaders, will have come down pit road.
Yeah, I see Drew Williams scored in 5th position, so that'll be the answer there. The answer to our question will be how far behind is St. Clair College, this blue car, when they come out. That'll be the rub there. We see Arizona State as well. Missed their box. Arizona State's going to have to back up. That's going to be several car lengths on track. And so as that 0-2 gets on down the road, yeah, his best move is to have this race go green for a little bit, and then maybe Alex, he can try and do something where he gets on fresher tires earlier. But yeah, going to be a lot of shuffling right now, and not a surprise off sequence again to see Purdue and Jeremy Miller scored 4th as we now cycle out. We'll take a look at pit laps in a couple minutes, but yeah, looking up on track, man, it is a number probably about 5 or 6 seconds from the driver here on your screen up front to the new leader, Drew Williams. Yeah, coming across turn 1 right now. And so that's the new tire magic, Alex.
Yeah, the new tire magic for sure, but now every lap that goes on from here, you'll see folks like DeWale and Wallet have slightly faster lap times, and if it continues to stay green, they'll slowly start to reel in Williams and Toomey, especially because I'm sure they've been pushing the tires a little bit to make up ground. But right now, in control of this race, it is Andrew Williams for Clemson University. Longtime staple of the CIL, has produced a lot of very memorable moments, but still looking for career victory number 1. So, in the hot seat right now, but still a long way to go here. Only on lap 58 out of 133. We are still approaching the halfway point part.
Yeah, that's what's going on here, and you can see the laps on the scoring tower. About 8 more laps or so, depending how you count on their tires. And a yellow is out.
Oh,
a yellow
caution's
is out. So this was not on my bingo card, Alex, but you'll see the pace car right there, and that pace car is coming out in a funny spot. We'll see if anybody gets trapped a lap down here, but yeah, let's see what the caution is for.
It looks like North Carolina State, NC State's Matthew Nordberg is falling down the table right now. So my best guess, it has something to do with the 076, but obviously he was not on screen when it happened, so I'm not entirely sure what happened to the 076.
Yeah, there's that wall we talked about. Stuck up in that outside wall right there. And oh, that was the high line for the 76. So that was
contact.
Yeah, that was Tony Brown there on your screen, who just got up in that outside wall. And then once you get it sucks you in kind of awkwardly, and then it's so hard because yeah, the track's turning left, and you got to turn left more. Yeah, right there. In fact, I wonder if he's got some toe on that car, because that car kind of cut right, and then as soon as it hit the safer barrier, that seemed to be a big issue. So.
Well, we know the 719 was involved pretty heavily in the contact with Kent Hunley and the lap 13 caution, or I guess the lap 12 caution, which was definitely not good for the health of the 719 there. And that one wasn't, the first one wasn't his fault. He just had nowhere to go. That one, though, with a pretty damaged car that was running toward the back, just kind of snaps on him there going into 3. And Matthew Nordberg just has no real estate to try and get out of the way. So unfortunately, heavy contact for the 076 as well, but not through any fault of his own, I'd say. More of just wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, and at that point, the Wolfpack is committed to that high line right there, getting in the corner, because that controls your braking point, how much wheel you're putting in the car. And so to get there and then to say, oh, I would like to now choose the bottom lane. That's asking a lot, as you're already entering the quarter, so you're already asking the most of that right front tire and any little bits of downforce on these Gen 4 cars. Not that there's a surplus, Alex, but yeah, he's already trying to left as much as he is able. There was not any more left in that car.
So we saw a few cars pit after 10 laps on the opening caution. During this pit cycle, the people who must have come in first are probably pretty close to that distance. I wonder if any of them consider coming down pit road at this point or not.
Yeah, that'll remain to be seen. Obviously, Williams and Toomey, who came down, they're not going to want to give up that lead for new tires, but we can see that a little bit further back, kind of Brown, Burrell, some of those drivers, Drexel, and actually Clint Halterman and UNC Charlotte is back in there as well. In 12th position, that's one where I might say, you know what, we can play and mess around a little bit. Maybe we'll come down, get some tires, and see if we can kind of pop out at the end. There will be one more stop, but maybe we can do it with a little bit less wear on our tires.
Yeah, absolutely. It remains to be seen, but we will have to see how it shakes out here in the back half of this 133 lap race from virtual Chicagoland. Andrew Williams and Thomas Toomey are going to have their work cut out for them because they are on decently older tires than the cars behind them. And they have some really fast rides behind them who are going to be breathing down their neck as they make their way into turn one. Especially in the case of, if you're Thomas Toomey, the car behind you is going to be the previous leader, Zach DeWale. That would not be an envious position to be in, I'd imagine.
It's going to be a test for all these drivers. One driver who continues to just remain calmly in the top 10, top 5, even amidst the pit cycles, Drexel's Jason Wallet. We say that name a lot, Alex, but he's quick, he's consistent, and there is not a scratch on that car, which is why he's able to be up in the front right there. A few scratches a little bit further back, that 110 involved in a couple battles, and then the 42 has recovered, I'll say, very nicely from his detour through the infield grass, probably through no fault of his own. A little bit further on back, Austin DeLong continues to find himself in 8th place, and then 9th place there, Spencer Brown, his brother, involved in that incident, but again, that Garage Shop Chevrolet looking pretty clean, and then Andrew Burrell there on the outside, that's 11th. And I'll tell you who's in 10th right now is Timothy Wilms, and Drexel University having another good run right there, almost both cars in your shot for Drexel University, and they're doing their best here. A good run from those drivers. But back up at the front, I think that pace car is going to make another hard turn, Alex.
Yeah, that driver must be getting whiplash right now, but the green flag's in the air. The 23 already moving up to the high lane here as they hit the restart zone, and Jared Kaler launched out of a cannon diving into turn one. He might take the position away outright before they even hit the end of the corner. The 23, I thought, got a really good restart, but Jared Kaler just flies past that front row. New leader here at Chicagoland.
New leader, but it's all on 3 wide. Zach DeWale to the bottom on those new tires, and everybody inspired with new confidence here. The Sun Devils trying to get underneath the Cavaliers as they come across the start-finish line. And then, yeah, Drexel University did escape that one. But I tell you what, Jason Wallet is licking his chops right now. He's got an opportunity to get under the 23. And what's gone with the 23? That car, we had high hopes. But now Drew Williams falling back a little bit as he just conserving what's on those tires. Maybe he suspects a green run coming up here, Alex.
Yeah, even though those tires aren't too much older than the rest of the field, those two cars dropped like a rock, Williams and Toomey. I mean, they're already barely hanging inside the top 5, if at all, and it's only been 2 laps since the restart. Williams here battling, trying to hold on to 4th place. He's not going to be able to do it as Garrett Vitton will roll on by on the inside, so he's now 5th. Thomas Toomey now 6th. They've already dropped 4 positions each from the restart. Out ahead of him, though, Zach DeWale is on the back bumper of Jared Kaler. We've seen these two have some stellar battles over the past year or so, and it looks like we're going to be treated to another one here tonight as the 0-2 is all over the back bumper of the 58.
Yeah, there it is, looking to the inside. How much grip is on that low side? A little bit of damage, continuing to stay on the front of that left front of there of that UNC Charlotte machine. He's got the pace down at the back stretch, but here's an opportunity for St. Clair College. They'll move down to the low side, trying to keep that momentum up as best they can. Drexel and Arizona State really liking that low side right now. That may be a bit of an indication to us, Alex, of what these drivers are thinking about this track. But nonetheless, the track evolves. The dirt track analogies continue, and your new leader, St. Clair College and Zach DeWale. And suddenly, Drexel University enters the chat.
Yeah, Jason Wallace making it a 3-car tango up front here. Jared Kaler having to do a bit of both window and mirror driving simultaneously. Zach DeWale had a great middle stint there from like lap, say, 20 or so up through the pit cycle. So I'm not too shocked to see him back up at the front of this race. But to your point, it looks like early in runs that low side seems to work, but there is a point where those tires just give up and say, all right, we can no longer do the low side unless you really launch it in there. And then you need to be running the high line to kind of keep that momentum up through each of the corners. That 58, though, is nursing a little bit of damage. I wonder if that's holding him up at all from trying to reclaim the lead that he had for a very brief period of time. But as this battle for second continues with Wallet all over the back of him, it's letting the 0-2 start to slowly creep away. As a little farther back, we have a huge battle going on. That's Cody Hunley, Clint Halterman, and Andrew Williams. And this is the battle for 6th, 7th, and 8th. Williams just trying to hold on to the back of the both of them on those older tires.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what he would have chosen there. He is on the older tires. I wonder if he spun the tires a little bit on that restart. But I'll tell you who is not having any problems is that 07 marching forward. North Carolina and Charlotte. Good on that group, getting reset there about the midway point of the race, and they are headed forward at the right time in this one. The other driver who's trying to make a move forward is going to be Ohio State. We're going to call that name out a lot more as we get into the closing stages of this one. Matthew Morton is going to try and make the move on the low side. He's been on the low side all night, no matter the situation. He's trying to get the job done right there. But I'll tell you what, back up front, it's back on right there. Drexel University continues to fight, but now Drexel is in the sandwich because Garrett Vitton is going to try and make that low side work. Alex, it's all on at the front there.
Yeah, the 42 just started knocking on the door of Jason Wallet saying, yoo-hoo, anybody home, looking for third place here. As Wallet has been so busy trying to get around Jared Kaler, the 42 on the low side has inserted himself into this picture, and now is starting to box in the 76 as he's to the inside panel there. Now diving into the inside once again, the 76 just going to hold on to the back of Jared Kaler and hope that the 58 has enough pace to carry them both through. Right now, though, I don't know if that's going to be the case. Vitton has cleared Jason Wallet, and now he's side by side with Kaler as they go into turn one.
He has got those tires hooked up, whatever he's got. So the 42 of Arizona State University, that car clears both competitors off of turn 2, and new second place driver Garrett Vitton in Arizona State University. And yeah, Drexel University quickly through. I think those tires are starting to fall off a little bit. I'm sure that nose damage is not helping the 58. I don't know where he picked that up, but that's going to be his least favorite part of this evening. And I'll tell you what, there are going to be some competitors pretty soon fighting that battle for the lead, and that could get kind of spicy here.
No doubt about it. Wallet clears Jared Kaler as well. He's back up into third place here. And with those two single file for the moment, here comes Garrett Vitton onto the back bumper of Zach DeWale. Arizona State making a push for the lead here. DeWale had a few laps to breathe once Kaler fell away from the rearview mirror, but now the 42 to the inside here, almost side by side as they hit the stripe. He's going to look to try and make the pass on the inside here. Not sure if he's going to be able to do it. He didn't get a great run on entry. Corners through the center a good bit better. Slides up out of the corner. New leader here on lap 74. It's Garrett Vitton and Arizona State, who have been on an absolute warpath since the restart.
Equivalent tires on these cars, and Garrett Vitton has figured something out behind the wheel of that Ford Taurus because the Sun Devils are now on a march. A win tonight would be their first in this series, and that would be fun. A first win in the Garage Shop Gen 4 series here this summer. But I'll tell you what, he is loving this right now because he's starting to check out, and I think those tires may be a little bit warm on that 02 car because he's got a mirror full of Drexel University at this point in time.
Yeah, no doubt about it. To your point about Garrett Fitton in Arizona State. Oh, the caution's out. There is a caution out on track. Not sure who it was. Oh, it's the 65 of Tyler Klingensmith. That is not where the cow car wants to be. That front, the nose of that car looks very caved in. So we'll have to see what happened there. Maybe we can go to the onboard cow cam and see just what happened there. You see, he's got the 124 behind him, and he's got Austin DeLong ahead. This is coming out of turn 2. Oh, and just heavy contact between him and the 124. I don't know if someone slid up or if the 124 just drove through the back of him, but a weird spot to make contact.
Yeah, that kind of was, and we can look here at the 24. In fact, was the 24 or 124? Clemson University here on the outside, and what was the move? Yeah, I could hear everybody was kind of pedaling off the corner, so that's pretty common here. At the end of turn 2, Alex, these drivers are going to be trying to conserve their tires. They're going to be worn, and yeah, that was both drivers. I didn't hear anybody lift or gas up. I think that was just a miscommunication between cars. A little bit awkward right there, so I don't know if and all these drivers look like now coming down for service, so they'll get on the same schedule. But yeah, not sure about that one.
Yeah, definitely not entirely sure, but this is going to be a huge opportunity for a lot of these cars to get re-bunched together all on the same pit cycle. Garrett Fitton's going to win the race off of pit road just barely. Jason Wallet was coming with a head of steam, but that'll get Wallet ahead of Zach DeWale, so a one-position gain there for Drexel University. He'll move to the front row on this restart. What I was going to say before, just right before that caution came out, was that Arizona State does have one win here in the College Cup Series with Connor Levy back at Darlington in the spring, but Garrett Fitton's still looking for his first win to match his teammates' win total here. And I think he's got a ride to do it today if he's able to execute for the last 50, 60 laps here, because if he keeps running the way he did that last stint, that 42 is going to be a really tough car to beat.
Yeah, that is a very good assessment, Alex. I don't think I mean, there's a lot of race left, and there's going to be a lot of restarts left that he's going to have to get a good jump on and hop up to his lane. But you know, it's his to lose right now. It appears he's in a very good position, and he'll get to be the control car on these restarts. So looking good if you're a Sun Devil fan at the moment. And yeah, not sure kind of what the play was there. That accident just looked like Clemson maybe was thinking they were a little bit further outside than they would have been or were. But
my running theory is that I think Clemson thought Robert Morris was just going to get a little more speed coming off the corner, and then when they didn't, there was just not enough time to react at that position on the track to get out of the way. But that's just my sort of thoughts on it from that onboard, because it looked like they were kind of maintaining that gap until suddenly there was no more gap. But I think it's just a tough break for him either way. So it does look like the 65 is back on track there. You can still see the front of it was caved in a little bit, but it looks like both of those cars are going to continue despite not being 100%.
Yeah, Klingensmith is looking good, and actually Nick Stockner still showing in the pits right now, so I don't know if that was maybe he has some damage we didn't catch, but Klingensmith and Robert Morris will be back on track, even on the lead lap, so no stress there. Dylan Godina is having a pretty good run, continuing to stay in the top 10. He scored 9th right now as we queue up for this replay, and that's fun, man. A lot of names here, especially in the summer series, as we have drivers coming and going and traveling. These drivers pursuing their careers or their internships or their various musical or scientific endeavors over the summer. It changes the composition of the on-track field just a little bit, and really exciting to see Dylan up front. He's got the pace. Pretty good cooperation as well with the 22 car that actually may be running this scheme as well. You can see back on your screen, Austin DeLong, no stranger to being up at the front won his championship at his local dirt track last season, actually. But
Oh, that's very cool.
very exciting for these drivers. So again, everybody, when it's the summer, these drivers are on it, both literally and figuratively, virtually and out there in their lives. But here we go. It's going to be one more time that pace car is going to use every bit of the track to get on pit road. And Arizona State is going to bring us to the green. A good jump there, but it's all on in the back, 2x2, and a really good start from Clemson University. He's going to try and keep that car up on the high side. Can he get around Purdue and or Ohio State University?
Yeah, he's certainly going to try here coming off the corner. That outside line didn't go quite the way they wanted to initially, so we saw Jason Wallet and Jared Kaler not get the run that they wanted. Zach DeWale will move in the second. Kaler will get around a lot for third. And then you have Matthew Morton inserting himself into the picture as well in the top 5. And then this is 6th through 10th, all within the same square footage of each other. Looks like Andrew Williams was not able to get the pass done initially there on Jeremy Miller, and Purdue's going to hold on to that 6th position. But Williams is definitely not going away yet, as we see Wallet now trying to get back into third, all over the back bumper of Kaler. Here comes Matthew Morton looking to the inside. If there's any driver who's happy to be on the inside of that exchange, I'm sure it's the 13, because that's where we found him basically every lap so far tonight. He hasn't really strayed higher than the middle lane, as he will use all of that apron to get around the 76. He'll slide up in the 4th. Kaler holds on to 3rd. Now here comes Jeremy Miller and looking to also pounce on Jason Wallet being stuck on the outside here.
Yeah, Jason Wallet, those tires are probably not old enough to want to be on the outside right there. And you mentioned it, the inside, that 13 probably has a bigger notebook on the inside lane of this joint than any of these drivers up front. But straight on, it's on for the lead. Around the outside this time is the 0-2. Ohio State trying to make a similar move. Kaler closes the door right there. It'll be a crossover from 13. Maybe a little bait and switch even, but the 42 is digging. All these drivers on equivalent tires, they've just all pitted. And new leader going into turn 3. Alex, looks like it's going to be the 0-2, but it's not done behind him.
No, if I'm Zach DeWale, I'm trying to get out of Dodge in a hurry, because I see the 13 getting larger and larger in the mirror. Now we're trying to get around Garrett Vitton for second. That 42 for Arizona State, trying to do what he can on the outside there. It's just not really working all that well. He'll slide into 3rd now behind Morton. Morton now has a window of nothing but just Zach DeWale in front of him, as they are too wide coming off the corner behind him.
Yeah, there you have it. UNC Charlotte there on the inside. Drexel, they're sticking to the outside line. Good on them. That'll come in here pretty soon. Clemson University also trying to carry some momentum up off the corner. A little bit boxed right now. Will the 23 sneak through that hole? He was thinking about it, but Drew Williams going to hang out right there. Yeah, and Purdue is not going to let that happen. Purdue trying to make the most of that hole right there. This is going to be intense right here. 3 wide off the corner. UNC Charlotte going to slide up right there. And here, I do not want to be on the bottom of 3 going into 2. I understand that bottom line is coming in, Alex, but I do not want to be Purdue in this scenario.
No, we've seen Miller and Kaler do not like to give each other a whole lot of room, so that's going to be a spicy exchange here as they are leaning on each other going down the front stretch. Oh, boy. Oh, and they're in the wall.
In the wall, the yellow is out. That's not gone well. And, yeah, you mentioned it. Those two put their Christmas cards to one another on pause last season about halfway through. I don't know if they have resumed, but that won't help the situation. Was a bit sticky right there between the two cars, Alex, and we should be wary how much we investigate. But yeah, pretty tight right there. But I tell you, Drew Williams thinks that is great. He just took it and ran with it. But yeah, Miller in right there. That was Purdue and UNC Charlotte. Jared Kaler behind the wheel of that machine. Those two not quite agreeing on who would go first.
Yeah, no, I mean, that you were talking about how that was just going to be a bad situation kind of all around by the time they were even going into 3, and it just never really let up. But yeah, it doesn't look like those two cars were able to get separated at all. It almost, obviously iRacing does not have this, but it gave me serious the Speed Racer movie Spearhook vibes, where it's just you lock on to someone and you don't let them go. But yeah, no, that's a tough break for both of those cars. They have been having a really good run, both of them, and they'd spent a good chunk of this race up in the top 10, battling in the top 5, and now it looks like potentially both of their days could be over because their cars more or less got fused together.
Yeah, I'll tell you, the 23, I said he enjoyed that, but he just barely escaped. Yeah, I don't know that you could do a lot with explanation or blame there, we'll say, is, yeah, two cars, they came together. I'm sure that none of those drivers were too eager to give room right there. And so, yeah, when you got two cars together, they're not going to turn as well. And unfortunately, Alex, the front stretch here at Chicagoland was a bit more curved than the trajectory of those two race cars, and that was the result. So there you have it.
Yeah, and a lot of takers for pit road here. About half the field that was on track will bring it down for fresh tires here on lap 88. Morton and DeWale and Vitten still staying out though. So, a couple of the leading cars, Wallet as well, Thomas Toomey. A lot of the leaders staying out here, but you also have a few big names who came down pit road, especially the cars involved in that wreck there. Curious to see if there's a big enough difference on the tires for those who came in, if they'll be able to really make some noise up front as this run progresses here. I mean, there's only 45 laps to go, so I mean, I don't know if you can make it on fuel if you pit this time around, but you'd be in the hunt, especially if there was a caution or two.
You'd be in the hunt, but I think that these drivers are trying to save tires there at the end. I think that's going to be the trickiest thing that we've seen. Clearly, after about 10 laps, they become the most precious commodity as some of those cars come down pit road to get patched up or cars previously involved. But yeah, that's going to be how these drivers. I assume that's how they would make that decision. Maybe somebody will try and make it a fuel mileage situation, but that does tend to be rarer here. I expect that we would have a bit more calamity and probably a yellow flag, given what we've seen coming to 10 to go, 5 to go. That seems to be in the cards here for this.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I'm curious to see because I don't think we've actually had a restart where it's been Morton and DeWale 1-2 so far this race, despite the amount of restarts and the amount of laps that we've run. But this is the guy with the most wins so far this season versus the car who's led the most laps so far today. I think it should be a really, really good battle on this restart between Ohio State and St. Clair College. But there's definitely some hungry cars behind them, especially once you get back to the cars who pit. Anything could happen at that point.
Yeah, I think that's a good assessment as well as these cars. It looks like, yeah, Jared Kaler still on pit road, and so the repairs taking a bit longer on that car. That left front nose will be maybe the least of his concerns now, although not too bad that North Carolina at Charlotte pit crew getting that Gen 4 car looking pretty smooth. Still a little bit of work to go on that left front, but yeah, back up at the front, these drivers getting sorted out here. Coming off turn 2, so a little bit of a ways to go. And looks like we'll have a full field when we get going green here next, Alex.
Yeah, a lot of cars still battling on track, still fighting here, especially a lot of really fast cars still up front. And to your point about people in the summer season having some opportunities potentially to shine, this could be a quality opportunity for a couple of these drivers who don't typically find themselves up in the mix here to really make some noise, really get battling with some of the best that the Garage Shop College Cup Series has to offer. But as they make their way into turn 3, Morton and DeWale are row 1, Vitten and Wallet are row 2, Toomey and Godinez, row 3. All of these were cars who did not pit. The first car who did come down pit road, I do believe, was Jeremy Millerin, who's currently scored 14th. Pace car peels off, and here we go once again. They go through the Geico Restart Zone, green flag in the air, and we are racing once again at Chicagoland with only 42 laps to go.
Yeah, 42 laps, but it's going to go by quickly. The leader, the Buckeyes, out in front quickly, but the 42, we saw him get that lead there kind of at the beginning after that green flag, that last green flag dropped, and so maybe he will seek to do the same thing here. I also see Your honorable mention, Alex, is the 166 car. The Virginia Cavaliers are in the right place at the right time at the end of this one. Still a ways to go here, but this is a good spot for them.
Yeah, he is very much in the mix right now, which is all you can ask for at this stage of the race. Because you can't necessarily win it yet, but you can certainly lose it. But he is still in the hunt here as he looks to the inside of Jason Wallet. They will be side by side going down the backstretch. It'll actually be 2 by 2 as they go into the corner, as Halterman's on the inside of Andrew Williams behind him. They're going to need a second to get this sorted out, as now Williams looks to potentially make it 3 wide off the corner. Didn't quite have the speed, though. And as all this is going on, Dylan Godina is sitting and watching, seeing how it's all going to shake out here. A lot of really good battling going on. This is for 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, and 8th.
Yeah, he's trying to get the job done back here. You can see that that is the JR Automation Clemson car there. That's Drew Williams. He's hooked right up behind the Drexel car right there on corner exit. 3 wide, Clemson University through the center. Can it be done? I think it can. And Drew Williams, 2 for 1 off corner exit. He got the job done. That's going to be a move that we come back to later. If he finds victory and a little bit of wiggle in the middle of the corner, yeah, he is on it right now. Clemson University and Drew Williams.
Yeah, he's really pushing that car about as hard as it can go right now, and that's what you need to do here as time begins to wind down. You need to start being a little more aggressive when you have the opportunity to make a move, because you're not going to have too many more opportunities to do so. He was able to capitalize, though, finds himself now in the top 5. And he once again gets lined up behind Thomas Toomey. And I feel like those 2 cars have been kind of near each other all night. The 166 and the 23 have always been in the same zip code for a good chunk of this race. A lot of similar pit strategy and now a lot of similar on-track positions. But right now, Matthew Morton has opened up a half-second lead over Zach DeWale in second. Garrett Vitton still in the hunt there in third, and then it's a battle here for fourth as now Williams looks to go around the outside of Toomey and gets it done with ease.
I was going to say with ease being the operative term there. Big run for the 23. We'll see if he can carry that momentum to catch up to his buddy a little bit further up right there. Ooh, and a little bit of a block from the Sun Devils. All fair, though, down into turn 1A. He's going to like that low line, but this is exactly what Drew did previously. Can Clemson get this run off the corner? Yeah, that pass is done before the corner is completed. And I believe he's on the same tires, but yeah, he is marching forward, Williams.
Yeah, we can certainly check that, but the 23 on a march right now as this battle is for the outside of, is for the last spot in the top 10. Spencer Brown way sideways going through the corner. Is he going to be able to save it? Yes, he is, but he's going to lose several spots in the process. I mean, that car got all sorts of sideways coming off the corner. Now looking to fight back on the inside here of Klingensmith, not able to clear him, though. He'll have to drop back to 13th as Andrew Williams has maybe made the pass up front for Zach DeWale for second. Looks like he has cleared the St. Clair car, and now Andrew Williams is now staring down the back bumper of Matthew Morton. Only 1 car between him and an inaugural CIL victory. Still has some ground to make up, but he is chopping into that lead in a hurry.
He is, and there's a little bit of your answer. I missed it, but it looks like he's on 10-lap fresher tires, Clemson University, so he knows this is his time to shine right now. He's not going to get this opportunity a lot. A little bit further back, Thomas Toomey trying to sneak under Arizona State University. And pretty forceful right there. Yeah, I saw that going into the corner. That was going to happen. Clint Halterman a little bit loose, just trying to turn that steering wheel as left as he could, try and avoid, and the 42 will not enjoy that. But for the time being, that is position 4. Going to be University of Virginia, followed by North Carolina at Charlotte. That's their front-running car after Jared Kaler had a bit of a run-in with Purdue previously. And then, the loser there, and probably itching to come back on, is the 42. That's going to be the Sun Devil, Garrett Vitton. But yeah, it's Toomey's not quite running away right here. Clint Halterman has got it lined up.
Yeah, Halterman's still on the back bumper of the 166 here, and despite the little bit of contact between Toomey and Vitton, Vitton's still in the hunt as well. He's now looking back to the inside of Clint Halterman, trying to reclaim that lost 5th place position. Had a nose on the corner for a second, not able to maintain it coming out of turn 4, though he'll have to settle back into 6th for now. But as this battle is heating up, I'm trying to keep an eye on that relative. Andrew Williams cut that gap in half, so we'll get to him in a little bit here when he continues to get a little closer. But you can see there just ahead of this battle we're watching, that gap starting to shrink a little bit. But now it is Halterman on the inside of Thomas Toomey trying to make the pass for UNC Charlotte, trying to move them up into 4th position. Side by side across the stripe here on lap 102. Halterman diving down to the inside. Toomey will take that mid lane away. Vitton thinking about trying to follow the 07 through, but the 07 slides up a little bit out of the corner. And that's going to halt not only his run, but also the run of the 42 directly behind him. So at least for another set of corners, Thomas Toomey will hold on to the 4th place position.
Holding on is the key word here, because that's what Matthew Morton's about to do. 10-lap older tires, and we know that after that window, as they get older, that 10-lap difference becomes a smaller percentage of the total wear on each of those tires. But you can see the 23, he knows that he's got to get it done right here. He's going to use up that outside. He has been taking about almost a 10th a lap out of that gap. And so a couple laps here, the battle is on. And that 23, the orange wheel machine, he's trying to get that. Yeah, he's adopted that low line. He'll try and get off the corner and get a run right here. That gap now under 2 tenths and almost a tenth and a half as they go down into turn 1, Alex.
Yeah, he's just trying to find a little bit of extra speed potentially in the draft of the 13 there. He had no issue getting up to the back bumper here, but now that he has gotten to the 13, having a little bit of trouble closing up those last 2 car lengths that he needs. He's closed it down to about a 1 car length gap between the back bumper of the 13 and the nose of the 23. But still some work to do, but the two of them have absolutely pulled away from the rest of the field. 3rd place, Zach DeWell, over 2 seconds behind. So right now, your battle for potentially the race win is unfolding in front of our very eyes between the ever-fast Matthew Morton and Andrew Williams, the man on a mission right now on those slightly fresher tires.
Yeah, down into turn 3 right here. He's got a chance. I don't know if he's going to try and follow right in the tire tracks. Again, aerodynamics not going to be such a big issue. This era was a little bit before the term aero tight and aero push and so on. But nonetheless, that's a little bit of air that's not going to be hitting the nose of that Clemson Chevrolet Impala. And yeah, I got to agree, the progress has stalled a little bit right here. These drivers now running pretty comparable lap times. You can see that gap back up to about 2 tenths. The battle behind continuing to rage on, but Alex, I don't want to look off this battle. I think Drew is looking to the outside right here, and to pit road goes Matthew Morton. So he's decided that this race is going green to the end, and also Thomas Toomey makes their way down pit road. So yeah, he knew that the tires were there, and so Matthew Morton is going to try and cut this run down, and there he goes to try and make the most of his tire situation. But Drew Williams now in the lead, ready to go, and we know that difference is about 2 seconds, and these laps here about 30 seconds. So yeah, that's calculated from Ohio State, Alex. So if this goes green to the end, Ohio State will come out of the pits a lap down. But I anticipate pretty comfortably that they would run down and pass Clemson University there for that win. So it's up to Drew Williams now whether he wants to kind of go and see if we're going to have a caution, which will bring everybody down pit road, or if he thinks that he needs to come down pit road and get some fresh ones on, because he's in a bit of a scenario right now.
Yeah, and it's not an envious position to be in. It's really a matter of how much do you trust your pit call versus theirs. It's given him the lead, but beyond that, there's still enough race left where that might not be the winning strategy. He's still holding a 1.8 second gap over Zach DeWell, but that is not the person he needs to be worried about. The person he needs to be worried about actually is running 15th right now, and Matthew Morton, because he'll start chopping off time in a hurry. But right now, this is a battle that is going on inside the top 5, thanks to a couple of people pitting. That is Clint Halterman and Austin DeLong, as Garrett Vitton will bring it down pit right here. But DeLong now looking potentially to the outside, now looking maybe back to the inside. will end up following the 07 into the corner, taking about a half a lane higher groove through the entry of the corner, maybe a lane lower on exit, not able to get the run he's looking for, but we will go on board here with Austin DeLong for a little bit to see if he can make this pad work.
Yeah, he's missing that high line on this corner right there. I don't know that he needs it, but car up high. And so right here, Austin DeLong is in the tire tracks, but yeah, he's going to have to find some speed off these corners because we know that Halterman has it as well. And so it's not going to be he can't deploy the DRS. Oh, and what are new tires? There they go. In and out of our camera frame. New tires are very fancy right now. That is Matthew Morton, Ohio State University. And I don't know if you can add any more horsepower to these 900 horsepower. Oh, even in the wall, though. But yeah, Matthew Morton now trucking his way forward. Yeah, he's going to be, in fact, not even a lap down right now. He's 15 seconds back there in 12th
Well, he's
position.
15 seconds back of
excuse me, that's
Taylor.
the gap. Yep, that's the gap.
Yeah,
ahead.
he's
So is a
about
lap
to
down.
unlap himself here. He is quickly closing up to the back bumper of Andrew Williams. When they hit the stripe here, it'll be 20 laps to go, and Matthew Morton will be back on the lead lap, and you can just see how fast that 13 is cooking right now. And every lap, he's going to gain a couple of seconds off. Lap times right now, a little over 30 seconds, so if he chops 2 seconds off a lap, he will be able to get back to Andrew Williams, assuming traffic cooperates and this goes green the rest of the way. But it's still a race against time because every lap you run as Matthew Morton there, your tires will get a little bit older, they'll get a little bit slower, and I don't know how deep into a run the tire fall off is going to be for the 23, so this is going to turn into a really, really spicy battle of tire strategy here in the final 20 laps here. As it looks like a couple more takers for pit road. It's Jason Wallet and Dylan Godinez.
Yeah, these are going to be the last stops for these drivers. It's in style now. Clemson University, you can guarantee you that Drew Williams he's made his bed now. He's got to stay out. He's got to hope that there's not a yellow. And yeah, you mentioned it. We calculate linearly because it's easy, Alex, but you're right. On paper, it's 15 laps for Ohio State to catch back up to Clemson. But we know that it's not going to be linear. There's going to be lap traffic. There's going to be different tire fall off for these drivers. And so that remains to be seen. But yeah, inside of 20 laps to go now, and it's all to play for these drivers here. Clemson University out front. And nice to note that Austin DeLong as well running second right here. I think he's adopted the strategy as well that hoping this goes to the end, he'll be able to make some progress here and progress in the points as well. But as we cycle through here, that's Cody Hunley, who's had that up and down race, but right now finds himself in third there for East Tennessee State University. And Andrew Burrell right there is in fourth place. You did see Arizona State unlapping. So looks like, Alex, we're going to have in our shots until the end here these cars on new tires. Oh, are they going to do exactly that right there? They are going to be getting their way around, unlapping themselves, and this battle is for position. In fact, it's for 11th right there, and Zach DeWale wants to get the job done there, but I don't know if the outside is the place to be on those new tires. Clint Halterman, not quite clear, and yeah, it's on with these cars with new tires right now.
Oh, maybe 3 wide in the turn 1. No, the 02 and the 07 will rocket past Cody Hunley in the turn 1, and they will continue their battle, just trying to deal with the roadblocks in front of them of every car on older tires. I mean, it looks like they're standing still compared to them, but, you know, once they unlap themselves, they still have another track loop to cover. And they're running out of time to do so. It looks like Halterman actually got held up a little bit by Godinez there. He thought the 22 was going to go a little bit higher on track than he did and ended up getting caught behind him on turn 4. So Zach DeWale will take firm control of 11th now, and Halterman will have some room or some work to do to cover the gap that just opened up there. But right now, I'm looking at it, about 15 laps to go. Matthew Morton currently scored 8th and closing in on Jared Kaler for 7th. And if he gets to him, I mean, there's more open track ahead beyond Kaler. These cars are very spread out at the moment. As Morton goes by on the inside, he's up to P7. He still has over 20 seconds of ground to cover, but he's chopping about 1.5 to 2 seconds off a lap. Will it be enough though for the 13 to make it all the way back up to Andrew Williams?
Yeah, that's going to be the question here. And so the gap, if you add up from your screen, he's probably about half a track back right now. He's working turn 2 exit as we speak and coming across the start-finish line in a bit of traffic. There's New Tires, Clemson University. Yeah, he's going to let the 07 and Zach DeWale go as well. So all in your shot right there, Arizona State University, St. Clair College, and then Niner Esports. They'll try and get the job done. But maybe the question that we are interested in is not the interval, but the gap, and you can see it there. A little bit over 20 seconds, and that number will surely come down. Tyler Klingensmith and the Cow Car, after getting, maybe we'll stick with the farm, got a little bit of plowed on the exit of turn 2 right there to start the race. That driver and that team, Robert Morris University, in fact, it looks like that front end looking much better. So maybe they've taken some time down on pit road to get turned around, and yeah, working quite nicely there. Awesome 6th place run for that group, and also for Drexel University right now, Timothy Wilms. In fact, Drexel, a little bit sneaky here, Alex. Drexel has one car on the old tire strategy. That's Timothy Wilms right now, 8 seconds off the lead, and then rocketing through the ship with the new tire crew. That's Jason Wallet there. So Drexel University using all their cars to their advantage, and here it is. This 3 of
this is all third position, yeah.
Yep.
This is all third position right now. This is 10th, 11th, and 12th. Halterman has gotten back to DeWale, and Garrett Vidden also in the mix here. This is a pretty critical battle here, because if you just look at the cars on fresh tires, this is a battle between, I think, like the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th car on that pit strategy. So if they end up catching a few more of these cars, these will be really critical points positions by the end of this race. Zach DeWale holding on to it for the moment. Vitton sliding in behind Clint Halterman here as they are quickly approaching Jared Kaler and Thomas Toomey as well. Toomey also on the fresh tires. He came in when Morton did. Kaler, I think, might be on the older tires as you see everyone starting to go around him on the outside. A lot of teams doing like alternating strategies, like you pointed out with Drexel. Looks like UNC Charlotte doing more of that as well. But I'm looking at those gaps there, and I don't know if they're coming down quick enough here. If he has enough fuel, Andrew Williams is in a really good position right now. In the past 5 laps, Matthew Morton has only cut the gap down 3 seconds.
Yeah, he's only cut it down. Matthew Morton, that is the Ohio State University 7th place car on your screen. He's going to try and work around Tyler Klingensmith right now. Not a big fight there, and yeah, that's not the fight that you'd want if you're either of those drivers, but trying to march his way forward. I don't know if he'll be able to get there. We are inside of 10 laps to go now. That would be some rocket pace out of that Buckeye machine. So back up at the front, Drew Williams is the driver right now, and is Austin DeLong there? He's about 4 seconds back. I don't think that should be a threat coming up. In fact, Austin DeLong has his hands. Austin DeLong has Cody Hundley. He's got his hands full right back there. You can see the ETSU car, and so that's going to be a battle that we will have to keep a camera on. But yeah, it remains on here at the front of the field here. And Thomas Toomey now under fire, I think.
Yeah, Thomas Toomey, even though he's also on the fresh tires like these cars here, it was a couple laps earlier than that group, and now he's about to get put 3 wide. Halterman on the inside, DeWale on the outside. Are they going to be able to navigate this? Oh, really close. The 166 closing off the gap to the 07. It's going to let DeWale by on the outside. Halterman, though, going to have to reset and try again on the inside line here, as you see Garrett Vitton closing up behind the 166, keeping Halterman down low. The 166 really loose off the corner, starting to hold up traffic a little bit. Everyone's, I'd imagine, both cars behind him probably going to get a little agitated by that as they're trying to keep chasing down Zach DeWale, and Thomas Toomey's not making their life easy.
No, and that was if you're the 42 right there, you know that was calculated. Both those drivers knowing that you want that Sun Devil behind as long as you can, because he's got the pace, and yeah, agreed to have a little pick and roll right there. But big loose from Virginia. I don't know if that's the fastest way around, and Thomas Toomey is going to have to get that car figured out. I think that's an advantage for the 42. He'll dive in the corner. Yeah, Thomas Toomey's not coming back from that far back, but back up
Now
in front,
Halterman.
Clint Halterman.
Yeah, Halterman on the inside of Zach DeWale here. And as this battle is going to be side by side toward turn 1, they're going to have some lap traffic up ahead of them. It looks to be Nick Stockner, who's currently scored 17th, up ahead of them. We'll have to see if they try and use him as an opportunity to try and clear one another. As you see them roaring up to the back bumper of the 124. They both look to the inside. Stockner goes way up to avoid. It held up, I think, Zach DeWale just slightly. Halterman was able to get half a car length ahead, now able to fully clear. And here comes a freight train coming up to the back of the 65, Josh.
Yeah, Clint Halterman's got a mirror pull right there. Virginia hasn't fallen out of this one, probably just biding their time. Not sure what their tires are. All big loose right there from Clint Halterman off that corner, and that driver is going to have their hands full because now Zach DeWale has arrived. He's going to try and get a little bit of contact getting into the corner right there. I think DeWale was looking for that lower line, and the 42 said no, and those two are going to be side by side off the corner around Robert Morris. We go 3 wide. Contact, and that's a yellow flag.
Oh,
Will
no.
it be a yellow flag? Contact for Zach DeWale.
Heavy contact for the O2, but the flag isn't out.
The flag is not out. He's kept that car straight, or he's trying to keep that car straight. Debris
There's
on the
now
track.
Debris. Are they going to throw the flag?
We'll see what iRacing and the stewards do. That's going to be an issue, but the battle remains
Andrew
on.
Williams sweating bullets up front. If this stays green, it's a miracle for his chances. If it's yellow, it just saves Matthew Morton's strategy because he is out of time. I don't think they're going to throw the yellow.
I don't think that's a yellow, and who would? That's it's catastrophe for that driver and that team, but the race marches on. These drivers straight ahead. There is a battle. This is for second place. This is not trivial. Here, for Austin DeLong, he's going to try and hold off ETSU, that's East Tennessee State University, and Cody Hunley, the Buccaneer, is going to try and get the job done. These drivers are all coming to the white flag right now, and suddenly on track, we've got Drew Williams trying to win this for Clemson. We've got the battle for second place, and the battle that's been raging there for the end of the top 10.
They've also cut off 2 seconds in the past couple laps from Andrew Williams' lead. They're not going to have enough time, I think, to reach him, barring a mistake. But this is the final lap. Clemson's Andrew Williams in the lead here, goes through 1 and 2. No issues there, it seems. He has worked so hard to get to this point. So many close calls that just haven't come to fruition. And now going into 3 and 4, one more time around for the 23. If he comes off of turn 4 cleanly, it'll be his. Clemson University's Andrew Williams, welcome to the winner's table here at Chicagoland.
Chicagoland, and we can catch up now. The current running order, now a bit spread out, is Clint Halterman. UNC Charlotte going to bring that car across the line, followed by Arizona State University, the University of Virginia. I don't think they ever had the tires that we thought they did. And continuing on, looks like Jared Kaler actually does get to bring that car across the line. That'll be a 13th position for him, right in front of, I think, his teammate there, Spencer Brown. Yes, a bit of a friendly moment between two North Carolina at Charlotte cars, but that was all to play for right there. That was a lot going on track there at the end, Alex. But got to catch back up with Drew Williams. I think you said it. He has worked very hard, and he has earned this one.
I mean, he's been so close so many times, and it now finally comes to fruition for one of the real staples of the Garage Shop College Cup Series over the past several seasons. He's always kind of been in the hunt, but never was able to get it done until tonight. I can't imagine what's going through his head right now. But that's got to be a really cool feeling.
There you have it, propped up, ready for victory lane. Good on Drew Williams. But I'll tell you who else had it come along. Austin DeLong got the job done. He had that car sorted out, and he had the right strategy, and that was all it took. And,
he did.
Yeah, you got to feel for Ohio State University there. Didn't have the right call, but man, what fun to watch.
What fun! I love a good strategy race, and this was a stellar strategy race. I mean, it really was coming down to the wire there, and a huge day for a couple of these teams. I mean, Austin DeLong with a stellar second place run, Cody Hunley with a stellar third place run. I mean, that strategy was gutsy, but it worked out for those drivers, and it led to one of, I think, the most unique podiums that we've seen here in the Garage Shop College Cup Series. A first-time winner, and at least one, I think, first-time podium finisher, maybe two.
Yeah, I think that's correct. Drivers continuing to come to the booth, and actually, it looks like, yeah, Alex,
Yeah,
if
they're
we
all
want,
here. We're
yeah,
ready
if you
to.
go
I'll
ahead and
pull in
bring
our
us third
third
place.
place finisher. It's Cody Hunley bringing it home P3 tonight for ETSU. Congrats on the podium. I mean, gutsy strategy call, but it paid off in the end, eh?
Yeah, I mean, I had to save about 4 laps there, so I just tried to go slow and bring it home. I'm surprised everybody else could run faster and save more, but in the interview room, they said they had about zero point 0.2 gallons left, and I had half a lap, so I guess I was a little too slow.
Yeah, congrats, Cody and East Tennessee State on the third place tonight. Fun to have you in the booth, and yeah, it sounds like it was coming down to a fuel mileage race. We weren't sure where it would be, but how does that compare to the tires that seem to be very valuable all night long? How did that compare to the tire situation?
Well, honestly, on iRacing, when you get so much tire wear, they kind of level out, like your lap times level out, and you don't really wear that much more. It's kind of like a reverse exponential curve. You get to like an asymptotic relationship, and then it stops. But so if I could just get to that point and everybody else got to that point, then I'd be fine, and I could just bring it home on fuel. That was pretty much the only strategy I had.
There you go. Well, pretty good strategy. It's on the podium tonight for yourself and the Buccaneers. Before we send you on your way, it would not be a CIL interview if we didn't ask you who makes this possible, and is there anybody you want to thank tonight?
I don't remember the sponsors for the league, so I guess you can just kick me out of the interview. But I'd like to thank my sponsors: Shaka Racing Performance, Doctor Enough, Guillotine Life, Semi Cooperative, streaming on Twitch, and my own Twitch page, A Physicist Plays.
I'll also loop in there. Shout out to Garage Shop, the league sponsor. There, we'll plug this so we don't have to banish you from the interview room. But congrats on your podium finish, and we'll let you go celebrate. Thanks for popping by.
All right, thanks, guys. Thanks for the fun race.
Man, Alex, that was pretty happy. Cody Hunley, and I would be too. We had like two races going on. The hypothetical race, if we had a caution there at the end, which would have been totally different, flipped upside down. But man, fun to see ETSU come out in this timeline. ETSU coming out in third position.
Yeah, really strong race for them. Not the only one, though, who had a really solid race today. Bringing it home in the second position, it is Austin DeLong. Austin, congrats on the podium. Walk us through the strategy call there, and if there was anything you could have done for the win, or if that was just how the cards shook out tonight.
I definitely did not expect to get second place tonight. Um, basically at the end, it was just a strategy game. I looked at my fuel. There was like 20 laps to go. I had 19 laps of fuel, so then I just backed it way off. And coming to the end of the race, there, I think Andrew started losing fuel because I started catching him. And then I was under pressure from Cody there at the end too. It was a great race all the way up to the line.
That matches our vantage point as well. Congrats, Austin, on fun one tonight. And yeah, so there seem to be a lot of grooves. We know that you're no stranger to dirt track racing yourself, the dirt ovals that is. And so, yeah, how did this compare to some of those? Because from our vantage point, there were cars that were winning on the low side, cars that were winning on the high side, and it all depended on track condition and tire window for these drivers.
Oh, definitely. It's all about conserving your momentum too. If you have a good enough run, you're able to pull a slider into the turn while keeping your momentum up. Sometimes it's just easier to take them around the high side and keep your momentum up throughout the whole turn. It definitely does depend on your tires. Obviously, the fresher tires will be better on the bottom, but if you have a couple lap older tires, you might be able to hang on to middle top groove with a Challenger with fresher tires.
Very well. Well, it was fun to watch the mind games and the tire games. They're on track tonight. Congrats again. Is there anybody that you want to give a shout out to before we turn you loose?
Oh, definitely. I'd like to thank my dad. He was spotting me. He was the one who made the call to not stop. My girlfriend Savi, my friend Nate, they were both watching the race tonight too. So thank you for that. And yeah.
Well, awesome. Congrats again, Austin, on a solid second place run and fun to see you up here on the podium. Have a great night.
Awesome. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, Alex, that's a good call, man. Up there. Shout out to the crew chief putting that 22 machine there in second place. That was the place to be because I don't know that anybody was catching Drew Williams from Clemson tonight.
It doesn't seem like it, but man, he reeled him in that last when everything kind of cycled out. He was 4 seconds off, and he only finished the race, I think, a second and a half behind. So definitely would not have had the fuel to do any more laps than they did, based off of what Cody was saying with being under a gallon of fuel left. But if there was some magical way they had more fuel, a couple more laps, man, you never know. But I think it's finally time that we talk to the man of the hour, bringing in his first victory here tonight. Welcome to the winner's circle here, Andrew Williams for Clemson University. What is going through your mind right now, man?
Man, I am shell-struck here. It's been 5 seasons in this league, probably nearing in on 50 starts for the Cup Series. Haven't managed to ever put one together, so I am ecstatic. This is a fantastic feeling.
Yeah, I don't doubt that, Drew and Clemson. Congratulations. You'll have to give a pretty big shout out to Zach DeWale there. I don't know if you were aware, but there was almost calamity as there were some cars together. I believe it was St. Clair College and somebody else. Bumpers
Arizona State.
Was it Arizona State? Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, bumpers were flying, cars were turned, but they weren't turned perpendicular, and we stayed green. And so was that your strategy, was just to stay out? How early did you commit to that strategy, Drew?
I committed really early on in the race to saving an extra set of tires at the end, and that's why if a yellow had come out at the end, that would have been even better because I knew no one else on the field except for Toomey had a set of tires left. I had a set of tires left. If we got a caution, I was going to come down and grab tires and blow the doors off everybody. So we calculated for it. We made a call at about maybe lap 50 of let's try and get an extra set of tires to the end. That extra set of tires gave me the freedom to go for the fuel mileage. Didn't actually really think we were going to run the whole way. I just wanted fresh tires and track position. But about 10 laps into that run, I realized we were going to the end, and I was 3 laps short on gas. So I was clutching in, and just you guys probably saw at the end, I was rolling on fumes, and engine cut off at the line. Like we saved just enough.
Yeah, about to say we didn't focus on it too much with everything else happening through the field, especially that no caution call very late. It was like lap 131, but we did look up at the timing table with like a lap or two to go. And the last time we saw it, you were 4 seconds clear of DeLong, and then we looked up and it was like a second and a half, and we're like, oh, something's going on. But that makes a lot of sense because I knew that it sounded like everyone was kind of on that strategy, was really battling the fuel save there. I'm kind of shocked that everyone was able to save enough fuel to the end because it sounds like y'all cut it really close.
Yeah, I think DeLong and Burl was also on that strategy. They realized a little bit earlier that it was going to go to the end, and they started saving early. I was going full speed for the first 10 or 15 laps of the run, so I had a huge mountain to climb and just barely made it across the line.
Wow, well, good on you, and yeah, a lot of fun to watch. Man, Alex, they had all manner of fuel and tire science going on. Sound like they even had the option. They couldn't lose that one. So good on, congrats, Drew, and Clemson University. Very fun. There will be celebrations in South Carolina tonight. Is there anybody that you want to thank, shout out before we turn you loose this evening?
Of course, I want to thank Clemson University, Clemson Esports for introducing me to this league, and OWR for giving me guys to run with every week. And of course, thanks to friends and family that put up with me obsessing over this silly hobby. And thanks to CIL for giving me somewhere to race every week. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for the race that was. That was a lot of fun. Congrats again tonight, Drew.
Wow. What else is there to say other than, I mean, you could tell that clearly it meant a lot to him, and I'm sure him and his teammates are going to celebrate heartily this evening. But what a race! It's not too often we get the opportunity to see a strategy race shake out as phenomenally as that one did. So they put on quite the show tonight, and in the end, Clemson University and Andrew Williams gets it done. 1.4 seconds ahead on fumes over Austin DeLong and Cody Hunley out of East Tennessee State. Timothy Wilms from Drexel is fourth in a stellar effort for him. And Andrew Burl, also in a stellar effort on that strategy, finishes fifth for Clemson. So 2 Clemson cars in the top 5 there, Josh.
Yeah, 2 Clemson cars in the top 5 is correct. Ohio State University going to be in 6th position after that one, and can't not talk about the run, the strategy. That was one of the calls all night. He decided it was going to go green to the end, put those fresh ones on, but Matthew Morton in the end, 6th place was the result. Clint Halterman going to come behind in 7th, part of that battle there at the end for North Carolina at Charlotte. Arizona State University and Garrett Vitton going to make their way into 8th position for the Sun Devils. The University of Virginia going to be 9th, not the tires they needed to get that race finished out. Drexel University will finish out the top 10 with Jason Wallet. Another good run for that group and that driver. Robert Morris University, the Dairy Cow this evening. Tyler Klingensmith, he's going to bring it home, 11th position, a good run, and Dylan Godinez in 12th. 13th position going to be Jared Kaler at the North Carolina at Charlotte after a bit of a mid-race run-in, and Spencer Brown, also from North Carolina at Charlotte. They're going to bring that car home in 14th. 15th will be Jeremy Millerin in Purdue, and Nick Stockner and Clemson University will find themselves in 16th position. Zach DeWale from St. Clair College. We'll have to catch up with him after this. Not the finish he would have wanted, Alex, but he's back on there in 17th position. And then in 18th position, we have Tony Brown, Queens University at Charlotte. North Carolina State couldn't quite make the full distance there. Matt Nordberg on that one in 19th position. 20th going to go to Connor Levy and Arizona State University. Northeast State Technical, we saw them a little bit early on, the 112 car. Ken Hunley in 21st, and Purdue and Andrew McCall will finish this one out there in 22nd. And Alex, I think we have to go back to, man, what a run for these drivers. Being able to put that show together, and a lot of different options here. We suspected that Chicagoland would provide some exciting racing, but yeah, was not disappointed.
No, not at all. I admittedly was cautiously optimistic for tonight because I personally hadn't seen these Gen 4 cars run on Chicagoland before, so I wasn't really sure how open things were going to be, how tires were going to be affected. But they put on a stellar show, plenty of action all throughout the field, especially up front, alternating strategies, comers and goers all night long. I mean, a stellar race all around, and a real treat to be able to bring this one to the world.
Yeah, ton of fun here tonight. But the fun doesn't end here. This is round 6 of 12 race season, and we continue round 6 with Wednesday nights. We're going to continue beating the doors off these cars. The Toyota GR86 Championship Series goes to Wednesday nights there at 9 p.m. Eastern. That is when the green flag falls. And then we'll be back here on the oval side. It's going to be very exciting all the rest of the season, and that's going to be a great points night as well for Drew Williams, for Clemson University. The storylines continue, Alex, and so from here, it's going to be very exciting to see what we have in store for the second half of this race season.
Yeah, absolutely. This was round 6, and still 6 more races to go here for the summer season of the Garage Shop College Cup Series. Super excited to be bringing that to you next Monday. We have the GR86s on Wednesday, but I think that is going to do it here tonight for our broadcast of Garage Shop College Cup Series action from Chicagoland Speedway. For Josh, myself, and the whole CIL community, thanks everyone for tuning in, and we will catch you on Wednesday for the GR86 race.